Just listen. Run around since like I was a kid. I didn't know.
What are the first things that you do, you know? What are the things that make it from down here to up here? How do you level up?
You got to have a plan. You got to have a plan. Number one is have a plan and execute the plan. Sometimes when you do that, though, as you go, your plan will change. Your roadmap, I should say, will change as you grow because you don't know exactly where it's going because your customers or your business will dictate what you need to. Sometimes you always want to be able to pivot when it has to be done. So don't think your customers will tell you what is going to take place. If you don't pivot, is when people go down the rabbit hole and they end up going out of business. So you got to be able to pivot on the situation, whatever's given to
Yeah.
you. Even though you might have one way to do it, and you look, well, wait a second, maybe there is an easier way, or maybe there's a different way we should do this. So you pivot as you go, and then it just keeps growing, and then hopefully you grow it into something that's um, that is exciting and big, and that's really kind of what
Yeah.
you're trying to do.
Yeah, well, I plan on it. I plan on making this thing big. I'm gonna market it. I'm gonna do everything I can to build it. Well, you're in the vodka business now. How did that come about?
I was in Arizona. I was sitting there, and your wonderful mom, she said wanted me to introduce me to somebody, and the guy happened to be a guy was in a band called Trickster, which obviously they had 3 number 1 hits on MTV. Um, and then that came about, and I didn't want to get in the vodka business, but I love the story, so that's why I got in. It's a story. The vodka was just an afterthought because there's so many vodka companies out there. So
Yeah.
all I try to do is tell the story. I bring up the fact of when the story's basically you got to have something a niche in any industry that you're in that there's a need out there that needs to be met. If you can do that, you can build a company. So if you're just doing what everybody else is doing, it's hard to win. So you got to figure out another way. Just kind of like when John Smith started doing the low single, he switched the wrestling world up. And then Kel Sanderson took that to the next level. Kel ended up winning 4 national titles, but they're all using low singles. Nobody knew how to stop it. So he switched the game up. And then, Jordan Burroughs had that double leg that nobody could stop. Not that,
Yep.
other people did it, but, Joe Williams had a good double leg too. But you've got to have something different and unique that people will buy into. And ours happened to be the story. The story
So
being
what is the story behind
the
that?
story the story being is this. We're at Pat Tillman's post 117. Pat Tillman played for the Arizona Cardinals, and he was in the NFL, and he decided to retire and go fight in the war for us. So
Legend.
what's that?
He's a legend.
Yeah, he's a legend. Everybody knows who Pat Tillman is. So anyway, we're at Pat Tillman Post, Legion Hall 117. I'm a member there, and Gus is my partner. And Gus was talking, and he was in there and said, "Why are we drinking Russian vodka and Polish vodka with the people that are sitting here are people that are from America and fought for our freedom, the men and women that served our country?" So he said, let's do something for them. So that's how American Premium Vodka came about. It was all about the
That's
story.
awesome.
So the story's got to be
Yeah,
told enough so people can repeat the story. So hopefully we can grow a company into something big.
yeah. Do you guys got a
Obviously, it's a
website
great.
yet?
Yeah, we got a website. Yeah, yeah. American Premium Vodka. You'll see it. We got a website. We've got everything. We're up and running. We've been running for about a year and a half. What I did was I
Wow.
just took it to the next level. What I did was I flew back into March, and I met with the Hy-Vees. We got all the Hy-Vees. We got all the Hy-Vees in Des Moines Metro. We can get them all. We haven't seen them all because we're too busy. So I got the Hy-Vees. I got the casinos. I've got a ton of restaurants and bars that are taking it, and the response has been unbelievable. So, for example, our competitors would be somebody like a Kettle One or a Tito's or Grey Goose, and I'd compare that ours to that and be just as good as anyone out there. So that's who that's kind of where our niche is, and it's growing, so it's kind of cool to watch something grow, But
It is
obviously, it takes
cool.
hard work. Takes hard work. Again, I tell everybody that wants to start out is I'm just fortunate enough that I've got a lot of people that I know, and I treated everybody properly. So the business deals I did over the years, it's a lot easier to get in the doors if they know who you are and they know that if I'm going to tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So you got to have a
Yeah,
good character, you got to be responsible, and you got to follow through, execute, and that's what we do.
absolutely. Wow. You know what else is a good business and what's selling now? Those seltzer drinks.
Yeah, we're going to go to that. We're going to go to something like that. And that's big. These kids are drinking more seltzers now than they used to drink beer. Now they're drinking seltzers. We're going to come
Yeah,
up with something, but again, that's another thing is our people will dictate what we need to do next. And right now we're trying to grow a brand, and the brand's being grown in Iowa, Arizona, and now we're in Nevada. So we're growing it slowly because what happens is most people think they want to get rich overnight. This ain't about getting rich overnight. It's about building a brand and a company. So at the end of the day,
yeah.
you have something. If you're looking for the fast buck, you won't be in business very long in any industry. You'll be gone because people know that. And we're trying to build a brand. That's what we're doing.
So do you like take the profits of what you make and just put it back into the business?
That's exactly what you want to do. You want to live on macaroni and cheese, and we run it. We run it lean. We run it lean, very lean. We got a little shithole place we're in right now, but that's how I started my last company. You everybody thinks you need new nice vehicles, nice this, nice that. You run it lean, so you appreciate when the day comes that you can buy something that you like. But a lot of people,
Yeah,
that's rule 101. People always forget they make 100,000 and they instead of put it back in the company, they put it in their pocket, and they wonder why they're out of business in 3 years. You got to put it back in the
yeah.
company. You want to grow. You want to keep growing
Now,
it. Throw it
do you
back
have
in.
like a game plan? Like once I hit this number, I'm gonna do this with that, do you
Right.
plan ahead like that or
Oh, we plan way ahead. But the thing is, again, it goes back to pivoting. We got to find out. I'm getting all the data as we speak from Iowa, Arizona. I'm getting the data. I'm gathering all the data that I need to gather, and then we'll decide what the next play is based off of what we see in our data. With obviously, at the game plan, we want to be in every single state in the United States, but
yeah,
that's a long term plan. Right now, I feel like Iowa is probably one of the first places we should be because I've got a lot of connections, and the state of Iowa is small enough that we have a lot of support. And Arizona's you're a small fish in a big pond in Arizona. There's 5 million people there in Scottsdale. I mean, in Iowa, they're not a bar or a restaurant or somewhere. I'll either know somebody or they'll know me or we'll know somebody in common. So it's a lot easier to grow a company that way.
definitely, definitely. I think marketing is a big part of,
Huge.
business, obviously. Like people you could see like when the UFC fights are going on, like people got their logos on the cage
Yeah.
and stuff like that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I'm in the process right now meeting with two Hall of Famers that actually fought in the UFC. I'm working on maybe doing striking a deal with them. I can't say their names because we haven't got it done yet, but what I've seen is, again, this is why you talk about pivoting. I retired like 8 years ago, so I'm back in the game. But what's happened is the social media platforms are totally different than when I was growing up. And so now you got this
Yeah.
Instagram, you got Twitter, you got
Yep.
Facebook, and all these things that we never had. And so now we've got to capitalize on because that's what these kids look at. Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, Instagram, and stuff. So I need to figure out. So we're trying to find influencers that will put a little tweet out for us to help support our back. Somebody's got 500,000 followers, or whatever
That's
they
smart.
have is. So I'm trying to find people like that right now that are willing to help us and give them a few $100 or whatever it is to hit it out, and then help them, plus also help us because we need to grow and
Yeah,
we need the word. It's the word. It's the word. It's got to talk about giving back to the men and women who served our country, and that's by selling vodka. So
definitely. I mean, I know you got a couple ventures, you know, that you've been on with the scoreboards and the obviously the vodka now. Now, do you just do these ideas come to you? Do you see like an opportunity and take it, or are you like thinking about your just thinking about what's needed and it's not being fulfilled? You know what I mean?
It's about both of them are right. I think the thing is your best deal might be the one you never did. A lot of
Yeah.
people just jump into a deal. Let's do it, and then they get in. It's like, well, that was the stupidest thing we ever did. And so, you know, I've had thousands, not thousands, I've had hundreds and hundreds of people come to me about, hey, let's do this, let's do that, let's do all this. And I said, no, 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 no. Now, again, it goes back to what I said earlier today, is the reason why I got into the reason why I got in this deal, because it was the story. I didn't want to get in the vodka business. I want to get into helping the men and women that serve their country and give money back to them for their Legion Halls and the VFWs. It wasn't, the vodka was an afterthought. And so we just so happened to drink vodka to talk about how we can help the men and women. And that's kind of how it evolves.
That's
Um,
badass. How much money have you raised for them, the veterans?
Well, right now we're right here's it's our first year of doing it this way. At the end of the year, we're gonna give certain percent of proceeds back to them. So that's where we won't know until the end of the year. But I can promise you this: that I never got into it for the money. I got into it to help the men and women. So I'm definitely giving back. We just don't know exact amount yet until at the end of the year
Yeah.
we'll get the reporting. We'll know exactly what we made and what we did. Because you know right now this company is we're putting everything back into the company. So
Yeah.
we do. So and I think at some point, you know, if this thing keeps growing and growing and growing, I'm sure we're going to do other things with the money for the men and women serving our country. Maybe do a retreat for the people that are the wounded warriors that you know want to do something they never done, and maybe you know sponsor them to go do something that they dreamed about doing. So you know, there's a lot of things we can do with it, and I think that will happen and we might name something after that, you know, at some point, because you know that's we can't forget about those people, right? The people that served.
Seriously. Yeah, no, they don't really have the respect that they should have, you know. It's a damn shame
Exactly.
too, because they're putting their life on the line for, you know, our
For us
freedoms.
being there, yeah, for our freedom.
Yeah, this
So
isn't like we're free for a reason because we fight, you know, the troops,
yeah,
they go out there and risk their lives, you know.
yeah.
I had another question for you though. When you first got your like taste of success and money and you know, what was the first thing you did? Did you invest it in something else or did you buy something or
You know, that's why that's why if you chase the money, you'll be chasing money the rest of your life. I never chased the money. I was chasing. I like putting deals together. The money came as an after effect of what I was trying to do. So when any time I called on anybody, I just wanted to win. It wasn't about God. I just made 10 grand or 5 grand. It was like, holy smokes, I won. I got them. They're working with us now, and that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to win, and then the money was an after effect. So I don't know. I
that's that
mean,
competitive aspect of it?
yeah, I don't know. You know, then you get to the point where like, you know, my mom and dad, I mean, they're frugal too, right? And so, I mean, I never looked at like, boy, I want to go out and buy this or that or whatever, you know. I never looked like God if I raise, you know, if I make 100 grand, I'd go out and buy a $50,000 car. I never thought like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I
Because
don't I don't think I've ever seen you be frugal, you know. When we go
no,
when I you know when I see you, we always go out somewhere nice to eat, you know. You're
yeah,
not afraid to help your family out, which is cool, you know. Not a lot of people are like that.
no, I'm thankful. I'm grateful, thankful, and thank God the Lord gave me the motivation and you know the drive to give back to help the people that are struggling, and
Yeah.
that's kind of why I got in the vodka business. And I like and I like actually helping people that struggle. I'm always root for the underdog,
Yep.
um,
Yeah.
you know, and there's nothing wrong with
Gotta
that
love the
because
underdog.
gotta love the underdog. I mean, that's you know they gotta you know it's tough. It's a tough world out there. Every day is a dog eat dog world, and
Yep.
you know the thing that's why every day I try to do exercise every single day. of something, whether I'm walking or reading a motivational book or listening to motivational stuff or working out. I'm always feeding positive things in my mind because all day long you hear, no, 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 you can't do this, you can't do that. So you got to be ready for the fight. If you're not ready for the fight, that's where people get broke down, they get depressed, and then they go in a
Yep.
rat hole, and then they start doing
Mhm.
drugs and
They end
making
up in
bad
that corner
choices.
pocket.
Right, that corner pocket. You know exactly the pocket. You've been in that pocket.
I've been in the
And then
pocket. I mean, hey, we've seen this movie before, haven't we?
we're seeing it a lot. Just gotta get up. It's tough out there. Hey, you know it's hard.
It is.
Life's hard. Life is hard.
I know.
Then you got to find
Yeah, you
something you want to
gotta.
do.
I'm gonna
You
tell
gotta
you
have
what.
the-
I was just talking to Mark Schwab, and you know, we were talking about working out. I said, you know, that's a huge part of my recovery, and you know, it's the cornerstone of the way I
You gotta
think,
work.
and you know what I mean. I walk out of the gym. I'm feeling
Feel like
better.
$1
I'm
million
thinking
bucks.
better. Yeah,
And your best workouts are the days that you don't want to be there. Once you get in
exactly.
there, all of a sudden you have great workout and all those endorphins kick in. It's more powerful than morphine, and you feel like $1 million bucks. I don't know
Yeah,
how people go through life without exercise, and I really truly don't. I don't care if they
I
say,
don't
well, I
get
work
it.
all day at my job and I'm lifting doing that. It's totally different. You got to release all the things that are built up through the stress and the day to day. It's a war out there. It is. That's why,
Yeah,
you know, that's why you got to embrace it. Don't run from it. You know, that's the thing is you've always ran from it instead of looking to hit it straight out and say, come and get me. I'm ready. You know, that's why,
yeah.
you know, you can't run from it.
Well, yeah, and I get it. You know, I've never been afraid of the fight. You know, I got to be in the right headspace though, and you know, I'm in the right headspace now. I lost my mind there for a little bit. You know, I was selfish, and you know, I was just in it for me, and you know, it wasn't good. You know, a lot of people stopped talking to me. You know,
Yeah.
I you know, I had nothing to my name. I lost my license. I lost all my money. You know, I was like, I don't want to live like this. You know, I looked in the mirror and it's like, I'm capable of so much more. And, you know, I'm not going to go out like this, you know?
Yeah, you hit right on the head. But and that's the thing about it is that's what drugs and alcohols, you know, do to you. You get selfish, and the more selfish you get, the worse you get. And next thing you know, you're taking advantage of all your people that love you. And next thing you
Yep.
know, you look at them and you realize that all the you did everything. But most of the people will forgive over time. The key is the only way they're going to forgive is look at how you change your life,
Your
not
actions,
today
your
or
actions.
your actions. It's not today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's a year from now because they're going to be skeptic for you for a year, and then
Mm-hmm.
you know until you get through that part of it is you just got to keep proving yourself. But at the end of the day, though, is you got to prove yourself, and then everything else take care of itself. You're
Yeah.
doing the right
You know
things.
what though? The next state you should go into is Chicago. Cause I mean, you know, me, my dad, you know, there's a couple I know a lot of people in the, you know, own bars who own things throughout the city, you know.
That might
That
be
would be
one
a
of the places
good move.
we're definitely thinking about Minnesota, Indiana, Kansas. The reason why is because we've got such a great relationship with Hy-Vees, and I think that'd be one of the first people we go with because we got a relationship with them. I think we'd have a good chance of getting in all the Hy-Vees in Indiana.
I didn't even know
Because
Hy-Vee sold alcohol.
oh yeah, shit yes, yeah, they're big. And then then the reason why you need those is because people that go to the corner pocket when they wake up, they need to go get their booze. They're going to go to the Hy-Vees or liquor stores, right?
Yeah.
So, you don't want to just sell it in the bars. You want to sell it in liquor stores and Hy-Vees grocery
So
stores.
I stopped drinking, but I say someone I know walks into a bar and they want to get a shot or a mixed drink of your American premium vodka. What's the
The
bill look
price
like?
point on that, the price point, we compete against the Tito's of the world and the Grey Goose.
Hmm.
So our price is going to be a little less expensive than Tito's and a little less expensive Grey Goose or our Kettle One. So we're right there, that little sweet spot. It's usually the bars that give it to about the same price or maybe $1 cheaper. Um, but the product is good or better. I mean, I think we've done enough tastings, and that's another thing we did. We did our R&D. 8 out of 10 typically take ours, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good knowing that we got a good vodka. When people 8 out of 10 take our vodka over the best. So that's another thing we got going for us. It's been really good, right?
You sent me one of those t-shirts?
The American Premium Vodka shirt.
Yeah, the
Like
one you
that,
got on right now. That's cool.
Yeah, that's a
You know that
logo.
website I was telling you about, the website I was telling you about that I'm doing, it's called sorryforpartying.com. You know, it
Yeah.
sells all the EDM and stuff like that. Maybe we could work something out, you know, where we could combine the two brands, you know.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, like, maybe I could sell it on my website for, you know, you buy a t-shirt and you get a bottle of American Premium Vodka with it or something like that, you know?
Oh yeah. Well, the thing about that is it's expensive to ship vodka. Although some states,
Oh,
I don't, you can sell it on Amazon. Actually, some of them I noticed that, but once you cross state lines, it's a little tricky. But could be like bootlegging almost, right? So, but we
yeah.
actually we do ship vodka though. We have our license to ship it, and some
Yeah.
don't. But it's expensive to ship them. But
Is it
that would be
hard to get
another.
approved? Is it hard to get approved by like different states?
Can be. Some states are hard, some aren't that hard. Some are controlled state, like Iowa was a controlled state, which is really difficult. But I don't think Chicago, Illinois is. I don't know. It's not. I mean, it just takes time. I mean, we got a track record. I mean, we're coming along. So I mean, uh, I think our next step is probably be Indiana or Illinois, or actually be Illinois then Indiana, but be Illinois or Kansas City or Minneapolis or Nebraska. Really ain't much other than Omaha, but so that we just follow the high D's, right? So that's where we want to be.
Yeah. So I
But
got one more for you. When you're starting something out, say like a scoreboard or a vodka business, what are some of the steps that like you take to, you know, make it a successful business? Like you got the idea, you gotta get the bottles, you have the name, you start marketing it, obviously after you got the product. But do you know what I mean? Kind of.
you got to have,
Is there
you
any
got to
like,
follow. There's certain steps you got to follow, right? Again, we kind of went over some of them, but once you identify what you want to do, what product or whatever it is, then after you identify, okay, then what is there a need for it? Okay, if there's a need for it, then once you find out the need, then you go out and then you gather data, and then before you start it, so you're not wasting a whole bunch of time getting all the paperwork done, then you realize we don't have anything or it won't work, and then you get yourself another situation. So you identify what it is. You go out and do your homework. You go out and you go out and talk to people and get educated, because what you don't know until you know, and then you come back and
Mhm.
then you decide, okay, I think we have something. Now let's figure out a name for it, and then you make sure it's a name that. See, that's another thing people don't do. They don't do a good job to identify the name of because for the brand. Like when I started my last company, we had to change our name twice. It was Score Tables by Design, which we realized, well, we're not just a score table business. Then it was All American, I think is what it was. It was All American, and then it came Score Tables by Design. And then I realized again we did that wrong because we do other things. So I said, you know what? I only team I want to be is on varsity, so that's why we said varsity group, which
Yeah.
you can put anything underneath that umbrella.
Mhm.
So so when we did that, it really actually then everything else fell into place. And then once you determine, okay, we're gonna name a varsity group, we had to redo all of our stuff again because we messed up the first 2 times because we didn't do a good enough job to our trademark our name and make sure we had the right name for the product. Those are important
Yeah,
things.
I'm surprised that American Premium Vodka wasn't taken. That's a solid name.
I know, we got our, we got a patent on that, so trademark on it, so it's ours.
Nice,
So,
nice.
so, yeah, so we're set there, cause it's American premium anyway, so. In the spirits industry, and then you got to, then once you get that, you get the name, then you go out there and then you go knock on doors, and then your customers will tell you what they want, what they don't need. The problem is with most people, they'll go see 50 customers, they get 30 different ideas. Hey, we got to do this, we got to do this. Just like you said, hey, what about seltzers? I'm doing cans. The thing is you got to be successful in one area before you jump to another area, because that's how people go busted. Oh, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this. No, let's just work on one, make one brand good. Then we can go on brand 2 and brand 3. So right now we're using 750 milliliters. We're going to liters. Then we'll go to the handles, which is 1.75. But you can't do one before you get successful in the other. Because
Yeah.
next thing you know,
How much is how much do you charge for the bottle?
on the 750s in this, usually most of the bars, not the bars, but most of your high V stuff, they sell for $17.95. Tito's $17.95.
That's not bad.
No. But what happens is that then we'll make liters. That's the next one. Then we'll get success with that. Then we'll go to the 750s, or we'll do as little shooters like you get on airplanes.
Yeah,
But then you just kind of work your way around. A lot of people,
absolutely.
down by the corner pocket there, that little liquor store, people get those little pints they put in their pocket, little shooters.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
you gotta study the competition too. See what those big
Exactly.
box brands are doing.
You gotta know your competition. So
You ain't kidding. Well, I appreciate you doing this.
yeah, go.
Can you
Did
send me
get
one of those
workout yet?
t-shirts? Yeah, I
Did you
worked
get
out
work-
today. Yeah, of course. I hit
Text
the
me your-
sauna, got a good workout in.
There
Now
you
I gotta
go.
go to my buddy's engagement party.
Engagement party.
Yeah, you know Jack Collins. You remember him?
Yeah, your neighbor guy.
Yep.
He's getting married.
Yep.
You still get along with him?
Yeah. Well, he's he's one of my solid friends that I grew up with in grade school. Those were my core solid friends, but kind of broke off, because I was doing my own thing, and not not doing too hot, but I got my shit together now, and I'm talking to everybody again, so that's good. So yeah, they're my solid friends. They're my core group of friends, and I'll see them today.
Where at?
Beverly, South Side. I'm gonna be in and out. I'm gonna take the train. The train's right by his house. Don't say what's up to the guys and hop right back on.
What about you? Ain't gonna slide down in the pocket, are you?
Yeah, no, I ain't gonna be in the corner pocket.